Sir, I don't have printed material.
Okay, those who do not have a printed material, they can look at the screen. The screen displays the material here, but I strongly recommend that you keep the printed material with you.
So where do we get them?
Morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. Yeah. So the material was already shared in the groups. I think even in the free group also it was shared. So just take the printout. Just by clicking on the PDF, you'll be getting one option, share option. Okay, there is a share option. And if you can share that to your printer or to the email of the shopkeeper where you get the printing done. These are the two options you can get the printed materials ready with you. So every Saturday we share the PDF. So this time we are discussing PDF number 13, booklet number 13, and we are starting today. Today is the writing day. Tomorrow will be a reading day. Day after tomorrow, listening day, and then after that, once again on Thursday, reading. Friday, we will wind up this week with a writing session once again. Most of the classes of Monday and Friday will be writing. So we have to start now. Everybody, I hope you are following our 4 methods. And you know what are our 4 methods and why we are following 4 methods. Everybody knows that now. Since we are entering the 3rd week of the December batch, I'm not going into the basics now because everybody is in the A group now. I mean, most of you have become eligible to attend the A group classes. So B group classes are no more conducted now. So everybody has to attend the A group and the B group classes now. Because the B group is only for the first and second week. Now, I think it's clear to you. We have got 4 methods and we have to complete all of them. Only then this class will be complete. So the first one is PP, RRR, AA, DD, WK. And after that, we'll be doing the DATs. After that, we'll be doing the PRPDD. After PRPDD, we'll be doing the diving and rising. That's all. So that means to complete PRPDD, you will need around 7 minutes to complete PRPDD. 7 minutes. One person, and anybody would require that much of time. The first one, the Prado. Second one is DATs. Usually you take maximum of 3 minutes to complete the DATs area. PRPDD, anybody can complete PRPDD in less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes or maximum of 5 minutes. Maximum of 5 minutes. So how much time have you taken? You have taken 10 minutes plus 5 minutes. 15 minutes are taken now. How much time is remaining now for writing a letter? How much time is there? Total 40 minutes. 40 minutes you have taken, 15 minutes you have taken. So how much is remaining now?
30 minutes.
25 minutes.
25 minutes.
So don't you think that 25 minutes will be enough for you to write a letter? The second paragraph, third paragraph, fourth paragraph. Okay, so that's it. So PRPDD is the first paragraph. Sorry, I'm sorry, what happened to me? PRPDD is the first paragraph, and diving and rising. Usually diving, I can expand this like diving takes one paragraph. The second paragraph is diving, and then we have got rising. If you consider that way, rising paragraphs will take the remaining time. Okay, you know that. So rising paragraph will be the third paragraph, fourth paragraph, fifth paragraph. Usually these are the number of paragraphs. That's it. So anyway, if anybody is here in this class who is attending this class for the first time, you will not understand. So as I told you earlier, these classes, today's class will be beneficial only for those who had attended my classes earlier. So now we have to go to the Pradoc. Everybody get ready with your pencil. We have to complete the Pradoc. I request everybody, you're going to have 7 minutes now. In the given 7 minutes, you have to write the Pradoc. Get ready for Pradoc. You know what is Pradoc. So everybody, please write down Pradoc on your notebook. Everybody, please write down. Write this way. P, R, 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 A. Please write down. Everybody, please write down. D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, and then finally W and K. This much is mandatory for everybody to start a letter writing. This is very important. Please, everybody, take your notebook. Everybody, look at the case notes. Everybody, please look at the case notes and write the P1. What is P1? Please write down. Patient's name. Okay, go for the second one, P2. That is purpose of the letter. R1, that is recipient's name. R2, the number of requests here. R3, the irrelevant details. Remove the irrelevant details. Admission condition, admission date. Discharge condition, discharge date. Date of writing, diagnosed or not diagnosed, and direction. Direction means from hospital number A to hospital number B, that kind of direction. And then the last two things are, what are the last two things? Writer, who are you? Writer of the letter, and is it a known case or a not known case? Please, everybody, get ready. I hope you have written all these things. I hope you have completed writing all the paradox on your notebook. Those who do not have the material, please write it on your notebook and start now. All the best. You have total 7 minutes. Okay, please start. On this page, you can find the P1. Whenever you write the P1, write down not only the name, also whether it is a boy, it's a girl, it's a man, it's an adult, whatever, date of birth, important one. After P1, please go to P2, purpose. So where do you find the purpose? Usually we find the purpose in the writing task area. Okay, please write down the purpose. Okay, so since the purpose is not very clear, we have to go back to the most recent one, I mean the date. You can find out the purpose and R1. And also please write the R1 or the request. Everybody, don't forget. Sorry, R1, that is the recipient's name. Yeah, recipient's name. I hope you have written R1. Please now go to R2. R2 is mostly found in the discharge plan area, but this letter does not have a discharge plan area. So if you don't find a discharge plan area, what can be done? If the discharge plan area is not there, you have to find out the discharge plan in the last one or the last two dates. That means this is the date of discharge most possibly, because you cannot see any other date after this. See, can you look at the dates here? How many dates are here? Today's date is 14th. That means what is 14th? Today is 14th December 2022. Same year, same month, but just a few days before today. Okay, so that is today's date. After this, how many dates can you see here? 5th December, 7th December, 9th December, 14th December. So this is the last date. After this, there is no other date. Now, most of the requests will be found in this area. Urgent reference to pulmonologist, may require bronchial thermoplasty. Further investigation may be needed. So you can notice one thing. These are the discharge plan area. I hope it is clear to you. So P1, P2, R1, R2, now R3. It's time for R3. R3 we will be doing separately, please. Okay, we are not going to do R3 right now. We have to do R3 later on. I hope you are getting my point. P1, patient's name. P2, purpose of letter. R1, recipient's name. R2, the number of requests. Here, the number of requests are here. These are the requests here. You can notice here. And then R3 is a separate one. We'll be doing R3 later. Then we have got A1, admission condition. Now we have to go to the admission condition. Where do we find the admission condition usually? Usually you can see admission condition somewhere in this area. Can you see admission condition in this area?
No.
No. If you cannot see the admission condition, then you should be very sure where this can be found. So where can it be found? You have to go to the first date. This is a first date. Okay.
The presentation at the first time.
Remember, okay, that's a very important one. This is the first presentation. Now, remember, please, everybody, you have to. I saw some of you committing a mistake. Like, what is the name of the patient here? Matthew.
McConaughey.
Okay, fine. This is a name. This is the name of the patient. Okay. So, what is the age of the patient? What is the patient's age?
10 years.
11 years.
11 or 10 years. Okay.
11 years.
10 to 11 years. Okay. So, do you think that a child of 11 years can come to the hospital alone?
No.
No, sir.
So,
Brought by.
yeah, it should be brought by or was presented.
Brought by.
Was presented is one thing. Was presented. Was presented is one. Presented is another one. Admitted. Admitted is another one. Was admitted is another one. Was admitted. There are a lot of differences in this one. If it is a baby or a child of 10 years or something, usually, so for babies, we can say was presented. Okay. For if it is a child, you can say was brought. Was brought. For babies and children, there's no problem. You can write any of them. But usually, for babies, was presented, and for adults and for children, we can say was brought. And if you have any confusion, you can write any of them here. No confusion at all. Okay, so that is to be very important. Now, so we are looking at which one? Which point now? Yeah.
Date of admission.
Yeah. Date of admission is also there, and admission condition is also there. After admission condition and admission date A1 and A2, we have to proceed to the next one, that is D1 and D1 and D2. What is D1? Discharge condition.
Discharge condition, discharge date.
Okay, discharge condition and discharge date. Very clear. We can see here, discharge date is here. And what is the condition of the patient at the time of discharge? This is something you have to very seriously find out. Sometimes there may be multiple conditions at the time of discharge. So you have to paraphrase them into a single word or a small phrase. Can somebody tell me what is the discharge condition of this patient?
He has been treated
Based on the
with,
symptoms of refractory asthma.
Okay, anything else?
he has been treated with refractory asthma and he is ready to transfer.
Okay.
Unremarkable progress of.
Yeah, unremarkable progress is something. Okay, is the diagnosis done or not?
Done.
Diagnosis is done.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
who is
sir,
the
done.
recipient? Who is the recipient of this letter?
Pulmonologist.
Pulmonologist.
Okay, and what is the purpose of this letter?
Urgent
Refer the
Assessment and
patient.
management.
Okay,
Further investigation.
so is it an so finally, is it a RR sorry, DR letter or DRDR letter?
DR.
How cool. Everything is so easy now. So because DR is a letter kind, like for the second paragraph, sorry, yeah, second, third, fourth paragraph, we call it DR paragraph. But if it is written to any specialist or a doctor, then we have to write DR. Okay, that means D, the diving part, that means past tense, R, present tense, diving again, past tense, and rising once again this way. So this will be, since it is to a pulmonologist, definitely this is a DR letter, but sometimes there can be some confusion regarding that. Let's move to the next area. D1 and D2 are almost here. Then we have to go to D3. What is D3?
Date of writing.
So is D2 and D3 the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is a very important one. Many people commit a mistake in this case, in this area. Sometimes the patient is being discharged today, and the writing of the letter may be day after tomorrow. Maybe it can be a day before, a 2 days before. Sometimes there can be a clash between date of writing and the discharge date. So in this case, both of them are equal. There is no difference at all. Now we have to move to the next area. D4. What is D4?
Diagnosed or not.
Is this patient diagnosed or not diagnosed?
Positive
Diagnosed.
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 Is the patient diagnosed completely?
Yes, sir.
If the patient is
No,
diagnosed completely, then
Not
Yeah.
completely.
Investigation we want.
further investigation
Partially.
is needed.
may
We
be
need
needed.
further
Okay,
investigation.
remember, this is a very important one. Please understand this one. Even in speaking also, I have noticed one thing in speaking, there is a known case and not known case and a semi-known case. This similarly, everywhere, even not only in writing, there also something like that one is there. So it can be D4 means diagnosed. D4 means a patient is diagnosed. In this case, further investigation may be needed. May be needed. That means diagnosis is not complete. It is like a provisional diagnosis has been done. And who is the writer of this letter, please? Who is the writer of
Nurse.
this? And
Nurse.
do you think a nurse can diagnose?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, the nurse is writing from a hospital where doctors are there. Okay, that's a different thing. Anyway, I hope it is clear to you. So D4 is all about whether the patient is diagnosed or not diagnosed or semi-diagnosed. Always understand this one. There are three kinds of D4. Diagnosed means 100% diagnosed. Not diagnosed means 100% not diagnosed. And semi-diagnosed is like it is kind of diagnosed, but further diagnosis is required. So we can call it D4. Okay, D4 is in a way it is a negative one. D4 negative. And what is a D5, please? What is D5?
A to B direction.
Are you sure this is an
A
A
to
to B
B.
letter?
Yes, sir.
A to B means from hospital number 1 to hospital number 2. Any confusion regarding that?
No. No, sir.
Okay, if it is an A to B, then fine. Okay, D5 is also clear now. Now we have got just last two things, W and K.
K.
So now who is the writer of this letter?
Nurse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's very clear. Okay, and is it a known case or a not known case?
No case.
Not
Not
known.
known. Not known.
Not known. Sure.
A negative.
K negative.
Yes.
Okay, so this is known as the paradox. Those who write the letter without paradox will definitely commit at least one or two mistakes, and their face will be like very pale during the examination because they're not getting any idea. Because during the time of the examination, your brain doesn't work a lot. Your brain will not be able to work a lot, and your IQ level will be half by that time. So this is it. And when you are drowning in the water, you can easily hold to this small boat. This paradox is like a boat, and when you are drowning or when you are sinking in the water, you can easily keep yourself floating on the water just by following this method. See, this is the reason why we have introduced this method, so like the 4 methods. The reason is very simple. In the examination hall, you cannot be yourself. In the examination hall, you cannot be yourself. And that is the other reason that we have introduced our MELONS methods in speaking also. Remember, how many of you are following the MELONS methods of speaking these days very seriously, please? Will you please raise your hand? Those who fold your fingers during the speaking session, those who fold your fingers during the speaking session, please raise your hands.
Excuse me, sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please ask me.
If the case is not diagnosed and if you are writing to the doctor, which method we have to use in diving and rising?
Okay, if once again, which are the two conditions? If the letter is
not diagnosed and we are writing a letter to the doctor, in diving and rising, how do we have to write?
Dr. We have to write Dr. Like if a patient's condition is not diagnosed. Sorry.
This is also same, no, sir. This is not diagnosed, no.
This is not completely diagnosed, so we also have to follow this method, Dr. Okay, we will go to Dr. later on. I'm asking something about this MELONS method of speaking. So how many of you are? So I can see that around 10 of you have raised your hands. Very good. Okay. So this is very important in the examination hall because for the role play, you have only how much time? Only 5 minutes. Okay. So the first part is known as the meeting part. How much time do you have for meeting? How much time will you take for meeting? 1 minute. And the second one is all known as E and L, how much time do you have for that? Usually 2 minutes. Okay, within these 2 minutes, you have to complete this one. What is E and L? E means inquiry. Okay, so many people commit a very serious mistake. You know what is that? They, from the very beginning of the role play, they say, I understand your concern. This is really completely wrong. You remember? Okay, completely wrong. You cannot follow that way. So meeting, after completing the meeting means how are you, or how may I address you, or something like that. So these questions, so the meeting part. And then you have to also say that I am one of the registered. I am one of the registered nurses. Okay, and after that you have to go to the inquiry part. And what is inquiry part? It's all about ask some questions. What did you eat today, and how do you feel now? Can I feel your pulse? This kind of questions are to be asked in this area. So this is something like, you know, you should understand about the MELONS speaking also. Not like MELONS writing. For speaking also, you have to follow the methods. So the first one is known as the meeting part. That is, you have to fold your thumb. You have to fold your thumb. That means within 1 minute, you should fold your thumb and go to the EL part. That is inquiry. Ask at least, you have to ask at least 3 to 5 questions. Keep on asking some questions. Without asking questions, you should not say, I understand your concern. How can you say that you understood somebody's concern without knowing somebody? A patient comes and says that I'm having extreme pain in this side of the chest. Then you are saying, I understand your concern. No, you are telling a lie. You did not understand the patient's concern. You're simply being a student in the examination hall. Don't be a student in the examination hall. You have to be an empathizing nurse in the examination hall. And what is E and L? E and L means inquiry and
Active listening.
and listening. Yeah. EL, MELONS, melons. And what is O? O and M stand. Yeah, offering.
Offering.
Offering means, what is offering? What is meaning? Offering means like
Suggestions.
yeah, dear Miss Tina, if you don't mind, I can advise you to, or I advise you to this one, or okay, or you can also say the best solution for this condition at this time. Okay, so these are all. Offering means offering advice, offering suggestions, or offering a diet change, something like this one. Offering. But before offering something, you should know the patient's condition carefully. So that for that we need to do the inquiry and listening. Just ask a number of questions and then keep on listening to the patient. Okay, you know how to listen. You should be a very active listener. Like okay, you know how to do that. Okay, then we have got offering and neutralizing. Neutralizing. What is neutralizing? Yeah, this is a very important one, because many people are trying to solve the patient's condition, the problem, within that given 5 minutes. You have only 5 minutes and you cannot solve a patient's problem within that 5 minutes. You can only neutralize the patient's problem. So if the patient is coming with 100% problem, 100% problems and worries and tension and anxiety and pain, and if you are able to send the patient back with 50% of the same, then your role play is successful. Never try to give 100% solution for the patient, because you will be simply struggling yourself. Don't do that. Offering and neutralization. And then final one is summarizing. Usually, yeah, for this one, I mean, one second. For the M, we have got how much time? Only 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay, and then E and L, we have got 2 minutes, and offering and neutralization on, we have got another 2 minutes. That means the time is over. That means a total of 5 minutes are there for your speaking role play. So then how will you do with the summarizing? If you don't get time for summarizing, leave it, no problem. Sometimes you may not have much to offer. So it will be only 1 minute. Then if you think that the 5 minutes are not over, if you want, then you can simply write summarizing. You can just go to the summarizing area. Okay. Oh, my spelling is so bad these days. Summarizing. Okay. Summarizing. Okay. So you can take that the last 1 minute for that. How do you summarize? Miss Tina, since I see that you have agreed to or agreed upon undergoing surgery. I would like to, please, you can write down if you want it, this one. I would like to summarize the upshot of. So this line is beautiful one. I like this word, upshot of our conversation. Oh, conversation. You have agreed to change your diet pattern for the next 1 year until we have seen a change. You know why I'm typing here? Do you know the reason why I'm typing here? Maybe some of you may be wondering why this typing is going on. Typing is slow. So some of you who are not able to understand my accent, because my accent is not so good, okay? So if you didn't understand that, these typed words will be a good indication for you to understand that, okay? So once again, I am concluding this speaking part, and we have to go back to the Pradoc. Okay, now this is all about our speaking way. So we have to meet, inquire, listen, offer, neutralize, summarize. That is all known as MELONS method of speaking. So we'll be having more about this one later on. Now let's complete this one, the Pradoc. So remember, this is very important. Is it a noun case or a not noun case? Remember, there are 3 cases. One is noun case, one is not noun case. The other one is always the confusing one, semi-noun case or a partially noun case. So you can call it whatever the name you want to call it by. Okay, so that's all about the Pradoc. Any question, please? I'm asking this question to not to the beginners, because this class is not for the beginners. I'm asking the experts, people in the A group now. Any question, please ask me. If you have no question, please give me just 30 seconds. I'm coming back. Please stay here. Yes, I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, now this is all about the Pradoc. So I believe you have now completed the Pradoc now. Everybody, you are sure about that one. Without Pradoc, do not go to writing the letter. So once the Pradoc is done, we can easily go to the DATS. Do you want to see the DATS? DATS. Here is it. Anybody wants to make any change in this one? D for date, A for address, D for dear, and the last one, S stands for subject. But we don't have a subject in letters like this one. In the place of subject, we write RE, which is a reference. Master.
Sir, actually the pulmonologist is a doctor, no, sir. Then how it comes Mr. Sir?
Okay,
Supposed to be doctor, no?
Correct. Okay. So it's a doctor. Doctor is there. Any other mistake can you find?
Sorry.
The dear doctor we can write, no?
In the dear.
Yeah, dear doctor. Okay, very good. Any other change?
Spelling mistake in the name, Matthew. One T is missing.
Which one? Matthew?
Sir,
One
one
T.
Double
T
T,
is
Matthew,
missing.
double T is there.
Oh, great. Okay. You know, we are familiar with only single T Matthews. Okay. But there are double T Matthews are also there. Is there any H here?
Yes, H is
CT,
there.
Yes, sir, H is there.
Whatever is the name. Okay. Whatever is the name. So we are familiar with MATHEW. Okay, but in the examination, in the case notes, they will provide something else. You know why they are confusing you? Have you ever thought why OET is confusing you? Yeah, I have the same answer for you. If you don't see the T here, if you are not able to see here, your vision is really seriously impaired. So people with a deformity are not supposed to go to Australia and the UK. So if you cannot see that the one T missing here, you will not see a lot of other things when you are prescribing a very sensitive medication to a patient. You will, instead of, yeah, tell me.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
For example, if they decide to write the Matthew of just one T, are you supposed to now add a T?
I didn't get you.
Since there are two ways of spelling it.
Gloria, once again.
Yes, sir. I said in the exam day or on exam day, if they decide to write the Matthew of one T in the case note, are you supposed to now add a T?
No, because you have to follow whatever is given in the case notes.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Really. So we have to be very careful about that. If a nurse or a doctor is not able to see that, as I told you, you will not see so many things when you are prescribing medicines. You will not be a careful nurse in the hospital. You know, we don't know how OET is actually assessing you. OET says, you know, for example, for speaking, OET says what? Only the recorded video will be assessed, which will be recorded and which will be sent to Melbourne for assessment. Do you believe that? I don't believe that, because there are around 30,000 candidates are writing OET exams every time. So recording them and sending them to Melbourne and checking them all is impractical. So what happens? You will be fooled by OET. I like that one. You will be fooled by OET. How? You will think that only the audio is going to be recorded, and you will go there and sit there in front of the interlocutor. That means a speaking assessor. You think you are very confident, only my voice is going to be heard. So my appearance doesn't matter. My facial expressions do not matter. And you will present yourself as yourself. Once again, you will present yourself as yourself. Exactly. And then who is going to assess you? The recording or the interlocutor? It is the interlocutor who is going to decide whether you will pass OET or not. That means if your performance, your appearance, your dressing, and your everything is all right in front of that person, that human being, you will score. And your recordings are never sent to Melbourne for any other assessment. Believe me, please. And one more thing, and don't tell this to OET people, okay, because they will ban me. Okay. The second thing is,
okay, sir.
Okay, anyway.
It's being recorded.
This is me. Oh my God.
Sir, we always think that would be recorded.
You will be
they
caught,
always
sir.
record or what that.
Anyway, I know I was
Thank you,
already
sir, to
caught by
inform us.
OET had
Thank
caught
you.
me 4 years ago. OET had caught me, and OET sent a very serious warning to me, saying that, you know, Rebecca was very much offended by something which I said in the group. Do you remember that? Anybody remembers? Nobody remembers. No, I'm a culprit. I'm a culprit in front of OET. OET had warned me sometime 4 years ago, because I said something very bad about Rebecca, and Rebecca complained to OET, and I said sorry to them. Oh my God, it was so humiliating for me. But of course, no problem, because I had to survive in OET. So I said sorry, and I removed all the screenshot and everything from there, and I was saved. Okay, now listen to me. The second thing I wanted to tell you, they say speaking warm-up questions. The warm-up questions are not assessed. Do you believe that? Maybe you may believe that.
No, sir.
No, sir, I think warm-up
They
is not evaluated.
They assess also.
Really, they will see what will happen, because warm-up questions are not assessed. That's what they say, not assessed. Okay, and then other one, the role plays, the 2 role plays will be assessed. Will be assessed. So tell me one thing.
Yes.
Will you be very serious about the warm-up area? No.
No.
But you will be by hearting. You will be learning everything by heart, everything on the internet, on the YouTube by heart. From every institute, you will by heart all the role plays. You will be focusing only on the role play, but you will be assessed for your warm-up questions. Okay, of course, definitely the role plays also will be assessed very seriously, but you will expose yourself as yourself. You will expose yourself as yourself during the warm-up questions. You won't be doing anything very seriously. And that day, they will ask a very different question. And from that question, they will understand your real speaking skills. And if there is a great difference between this score, for example, you got an impression like 3 out of 10 for the warm-up questions. And for this one, you got 9 out of 10. See, can you understand the difference here? For this one, you got a 9 out of this. How can that a nurse or a doctor who scored 9 out of 10 went up and scored only 3 out of 10? That means this is that candidate's original English. This is the mugged up English. What do you mean? Mugged up or copied English, by hearted English. So they don't want you to by heart anything in the examination. This is another reason why many people fail in OET. Please try to understand all these facts. These are facts based on my experience in the last some years. Remember that, okay? Now, it is time for us to go to the DATS area and complete. Any other mistake can you find out in the DATS?
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, actually, in the case note, it is given Mark, Mr. Mark Raffaello. So, how can we
Yes,
can
sir,
whether
they
we
give
have to
mark.
change
That's
to
why
doctor
don't
or
write
the
that, dear
same thing we
doctor.
have to repeat?
No, Mr. is given there in the okay. That could be a mistake
In the
anyway.
case note, it is given Mr. Mark
Mr. Mark
Raffaello.
Fellow. You father didn't give a doctor.
No, still we have to write it a doctor because a pulmonologist is a doctor definitely. So I don't know how that Mr. came in the case notes. Probably it's a spelling mistake or something, or it's a typing mistake or something. Even in the examination, they will not give you Mr. It will be only doctor will be given. So no confusion regarding that one, because a nurse can never address a doctor as Mr. and a doctor can never address a nurse as Mr. or Miss. In the medical field, you are being addressed by, but when the doctor goes outside, maybe somebody can address a doctor like especially a person who doesn't know the doctor may be addressed as Mr. That's a different thing. Okay, or also when the doctor goes for any kind of documentation purposes, definitely nobody is going to call the doctor doctor, because the designation is the prefix is like Mr. only. Okay, anyway, you don't have to worry about that. Probably it was a mistake from the case notes only. Okay, now we can move to the next area.
Sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Please, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want a more clarification.
Yeah.
Because in the tax area,
Mm-hmm.
we were told that he may require further assessments and he may need bronchial thermoplastic. So,
okay.
So in my own words, I was thinking since it is a suggestive, probably it's not a confirmed, the nurse is just trying to suggest it. So
yeah.
But the way it is written now is as if it is what they actually want. So I don't know.
I'll show you the sample here. I can show you the last part of this letter. You can see, in view of Master Matthew McConaughey, spelling I think wrong, present condition, it would be appreciated if you could provide further assessment and management. Please contact me if you have any queries. So now you look at the previous sentence. Today, Matthew again visited with the progressing symptoms. So that is also wrong. There are so many mistakes in this one. Matthew visited is not possible. Matthew was brought again. Yeah. Again with the progressing symptoms. With the progressing symptoms is wrong. With the progressing symptoms along with thick secretions and fever. He was found pale and weak. Please note, he was on albuterol rescue inhaler for the last 2 years. So this is also wrong. Anyway, this is not the time for correcting the grammatical problem. He has been is the right word. You know the reason why has been? Why?
Rising.
Because the
It's
patient is
ongoing.
an open action.
It is an open action. The best answer is it's an open action. That means an action started but not completed. That means the patient is still on albuterol rescue inhaler for the last 2 years for bronchial asthma and was getting intermittent chest infections for the past 6 months also and has been. Remember, this is also an open action. So we should write intermittent chest infections for the past 6 months. But then there is like in this area, just like you asked me, I think it was Christiana who asked here, something
Yes,
is to be
sir.
added here. Some kind of addition is to be done here, like those recommendations, like whatever you recommend, like the may be needed. Okay, the may be needed will be added here. We will be adding it here because we are not going into the diving and rising today. We are only going to the Braddock and DATS. And before going to the DATS, we have to do one more thing. That is the most important and the most boring thing. If anybody wants to leave this class, they can leave. But we are going into a boring area of this case notes assessment. That is R3. Now, I want some expert opinions from you. Which are the R3 here? That means the irrelevant details. Which details will you remove from this letter?
Address, we don't want, sir.
Parents.
Parents and address.
Okay, so they have confused you by including the parent's address. You remember? You think that the parent's address is totally not required?
I think it will be required because it's a baby.
Wire.
No, sir, it's not.
Not required.
Patient is going, so direction is to be, no, sir. Patient is going to die.
Sending to a doctor.
Because we are
No,
not
doctor,
sending
what
to
is the need
community
for
The
health
address?
doctor
center.
going home to visit
Yeah.
is not going home to visit.
Really,
This is not a home visit.
Yeah, always very important thing is
Not
if the letter is written to a nurse, in which there is a possibility of a home visit is involved. Only in that case we need to mention the address. And if it is to a doctor, we don't, because the doctor is not going to the patient's home. There is no chance at all. For that reason, you can remove this one. Be careful. This is an area where many of you commit mistakes. I'm very sure about that one. Okay.
Parents
Yeah.
also not.
Tell me once again.
Sir, our facilities is cleaning, so admission is not possible. Is that correct, sir? I have one doubt.
Admission is not possible.
Yes, sir, clinic.
You are a nurse working in Stellar Clinic, Newcastle. Yes. So the patient was not admitted, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Matthew is your patient. 1 second. That means, is there any mention anywhere that the patient was admitted anywhere?
No, sir. No admission, no discharge.
So remember, okay, that is the next level. That we will discuss when we go to the which one? PRPDD. Yeah, in the PRPDD area, we will see that. When there is no admission, then there is no discharge. How can you discharge a patient? Okay, but then there is something else like PRPDD. D1 can be either the discharge condition or the transfer condition. Are we transferring the patient?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we are transferring, no, actually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when we are transferring the patient, definitely the patient will have a condition at that time of transfer. So D1 is always important for all the letters. So patient plus requires plus what? What is the purpose?
Urgent assessment and further
Urgent
management.
assessment and further. And okay.
Management.
Oh, if you want, you can also write possible further management. You can write. Okay, right. And then we have to say what is the condition? He
has been treated for.
Yeah, many people write may commit a mistake like this one. He has been diagnosed. This is a very serious problem. He has been diagnosed is not possible in this case. Why? Because after diagnosis, did you do something?
Treated him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's a very important one. This is a very, so this is the reason I insist on this PRPDD every day. Maybe you are tired of listening to me calling it PRPDD and diving and rising and everything, but we have to follow this one. This is a very important one. Okay. Now it is time for us to remove all the irrelevant details. Yeah, tell me.
So instead of that, he has been diagnosed, then what should we have to write, sir?
He is being treated for is one thing, or he is being
He has
treated.
been
Yeah.
treated for refractory asthma with unremarkable improvement and
Yeah,
is
that is the right line. Okay. He has been treated. Yeah, the correct line. Even last letter also we had. He has been treated for what? Treated for what?
refractory asthma.
Okay. With unremarkable
improvement and is ready for this transfer.
Unremarkable progress and is ready for
So he is diagnosed with refractory asthma.
No, we cannot write he has been diagnosed with.
He
Because
is diagnosed.
no, we cannot use the word diagnosed in this case. Always remember, this is a very serious mistake that everybody commits in the first paragraph.
Because this is the same like last we did the same.
Yeah, almost the same thing. Yeah, really, yeah. So why? Tell me, Jomi.
Is ready for transfer or is being transferred is better in this case?
Is being transferred. Since it is an emergency case?
No, sir.
Is being transferred is better, no, sir?
He is being transferred. That's a
Yes.
problem. There is a problem.
Sir, there is no.
There is a problem. Okay. So he is being transferred. Oh, spelling again. Transferred. Okay. Do you know the spelling difference between transferred and referred? Like REFER, refer. And when you go to write this one, it will become double R, referred. Okay. If you're going for transfer. So do we write RRED? Transferred. But then there is another one. What is that? Transfer, refer, and there is another word which is, oh, I forgot that word. Anyway, leave it. What was that?
On 9 December 2022, after skin prick test diagnosed with the refractive asthma is mentioned for is so I have one doubt.
Okay, Jomi, I think you are a little new in this class.
No, sir.
Are you the same Jomi that who is in the A group?
Yeah, yes, sir.
My God, I'm sorry. I think you changed your DP.
Name.
Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. Okay, you have the permission to change your name. If you want to be unknown here, you can. Also, if you don't want your name to be displayed anywhere else, like you can be completely invisible here. Invisible means nobody will see here. Nobody will see your name here. Some of you have been admitted here invisibly also. If anybody wants invisibility, you can also be invisible. Now, nobody will be able to listen to you. Nobody will be able to see your face, your name here. That's invisibility. That is a new feature that Zoom has recently added. Okay, now he's being transferred. Jomi, I will answer to that one later on because we have not gone to that level. He's being transferred and he is being no, he is ready for transfer. Ready for transfer. You know what is the difference here?
Yes.
He is being transferred means it is an emergency transfer. So is this letter an emergency letter?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are we writing it?
Urgent.
Urgent
assessment.
No, urgent is okay. Urgent doesn't mean that you are writing to an emergency department. Are we writing to an emergency department? No.
No, this is not an emergency letter, sir.
Okay, so this is not an emergency letter. Even the situation is a serious situation, but we are not transferring the patient to an emergency department. Okay. Now, first one is he's being transferred. He is being transferred. Second one is he's ready for transfer. These two are different one. He's ready for transfer means, suppose he's being transferred. Okay, either it is an emergency situation or it is a TPRPDD situation. You know what is that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. T stands for thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting the care of so and so, that is patient, okay, who requires this one and full stop. And this is a usual way of a TPRPD did. Okay, So he is being transferred is okay with these two cases. When the patient is being transferred under emergency. Second one, when you have already contacted the recipient over the phone, okay, over a phone call or any other communication has been established. In that case only we can write is being transferred. That means even if you, the permission is already given. You have already got the permission. Like for example, Arya Anish is transferring a patient called Alfie John to Alfonso John. Okay, so Arya needs Alfie's permission. No, Arya needs Alfonso's permission first. If Alfonso has given the permission, okay, you can transfer the patient to me. Then you can start with a thank you for accepting, and there you can say he's being transferred with your permission. Okay, but here he is ready for transfer means the transfer will happen only if you permit. That means I am just waiting for your permission. Always remember one thing. Always remember, you have written a number of letters you have written. Have you ever thought of the answer to a letter? Have you ever imagined how your letter will be answered? Suppose we are writing a letter to somebody, like for example, this letter. Look at this letter. Look at this one, please. You are writing to Dr. Mark Ruffalo, and this is a letter that you wrote. Please, 1 second, please. Okay, you wrote this letter, dear doctor. There is a patient here, and he has this problem and this purpose. Okay, everything, and then finally, in view of Master Matthew I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, present condition, it would be appreciated if you could provide further assessment and management. Please contact me if you have further queries. Now listen to me. Suppose Dr. Mark Ruffalo is writing a letter back to you. Okay, just imagine that situation. I think that is a very important part of your letter writing. So 14th you are writing this letter, and doctor is writing a letter to you on 15th, on the next day, December 2000. And who is writer? And your name was not mentioned there. Suppose your name was not there, so simply write nurse in charge. And what was your hospital's name?
Spirit.
1 second. If your hospital's name is given, I will find it out. Okay. Suppose, okay, right. Whatever it is, nurse in charge, whatever. You just complete that.
Stellar Clinic.
Okay.
Stellar Clinic.
Whatever the address. Okay. And then, dear nurse. See, it's a very important one. Reference. So this is not. You have to use the same thing. Master Matthew McConaughey. I don't know. Okay, this one. After this one, you will write something like this one. This is regarding the further care of so and so everything. However, due to unavoidable circumstances, the hospital will not be able to admit or accept what's the name of the patient? Okay, accept master so and so. Okay, kindly transfer him to another facility. Okay, fine. Yours, whatever, faithfully. What's the name of the pulmonologist?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Marker fellow.
Okay. Have you ever thought this way, please? Anybody? I'm sure you have never thought this way. Faithfully, comma, Dr. Mark Ruffalo. Okay. I think one day OET will introduce letters like this one. Write a reply to this letter sent to you recently, something like that one. how to answer this one. Anyway, I should not show this one. If OET is watching this, they will introduce this kind of
I
a
think
letter
I've
also.
seen some people writing something like this.
Once again, Christiana?
I've seen some people writing, after writing the letter, they'll put the nurse name. Maybe they'll say just faithfully, the registered name, they'll not put their name. I saw it last week or last week.
It is completely up to you. If you want, you can write the nurse's name. If the nurse's name is given, you can write yours faithfully, the name of the nurse, and then simply charge a nurse. You can close that way. Anyway, see, listen, Christiana, my point is this one. There is no letter like this one. We don't have to write a letter like this one. But remember, you have to always think this way. Whenever you write a letter to anybody, there is also an answer like this one. Okay, so listen, everybody. So when you understand a letter from the question point of view, from the reply point of view, you will understand a letter much better. That's the only purpose that's the only reason I presented a reply to a letter like this one. This is regarding the further care of the patient's name. However, due to unavoidable circumstances, the hospital will not be able to accept him as to this one. Kindly transfer him to another facility. Okay. Anyway, don't worry. OET is not going to give you this kind of a letter, but understand this kind of a letter really exists in the real life. Okay. Yeah. So this will really make you a clear understanding of your letter. Your letter is not simply a letter. It always presupposes an answer also. Remember that. Okay. So with this, I'm winding up this session. The next session, the speaking session, has got some uncertainty about today's speaking session. The speaking session today, the 10:15 class, will be scheduled in the evening only. So it can be at the time will be announced later on. Okay. So now please take a break. My next class will be at 11:30. We'll be continuing this session. So please try to attend the same session. And okay, so see you then by 11:30. No class at 10:15 now.
Sir?
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, please give TPRPDD and UPRPDD question, question case note.
Okay, that's a good
Because
idea.
we want to, I'm always confusing if the letter to doctor, first in mind, thank you, like that. So I want to know about how the case will.
Yeah, very simple. I will be discussing this in the next class. I will explain this one. Grishma, if you will be available in that class, please remind me. I will tell you. It will take only 5 minutes for that. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Take a break. Please come back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.